Now, what I want to focus in on during today's workshop is this concept of classroom etiquette. Now, where this has originated from was a couple of years ago. I became very fascinated with the relationships between faculty and student, and I have been judging that there's a little bit of a gap between faculty and students. We're out here, we're not here where we should be. All right, working in tandem, working together to make that learning process happen. I'm noticing that it's here. Would you agree with that a little bit? Would you agree that there's a little bit of a gap between faculty and students sometimes? Yeah, I think so, all right? So since this time that I started to become fascinated with it, I decided to start to survey students. And last semester I surveyed UCF students, and I also surveyed faculty and staff here at UCF, trying to figure out what is causing this gap. And you know what it truly is? It's all about this. Faculty are not upset about grades. Faculty are not upset about students asking questions. That's not where it is. What they're concerned about and what they are not happy about are some of these etiquette things, the behaviors that are going on in the classroom. So I want you to be aware of these, so guessing that you'll continue to do the great stuff in your class that you're already doing in this regard, but to also just kind of watch out for what some of these faculty are thinking about. All right, so you don't fall into any of those pitfalls, okay? And that you are shining the brightest in your class. That's the bottom line with it. I want you to be noticed for your good work, not noticed for anything else, okay? But this is where they're upset. They're upset about some of this, okay? So let's go through a couple of things that are happening there. And considering we're already about a couple weeks into the semester, I bet you can already determine where some of those behaviors are that's kind of not making your professors too happy. Can anybody think of one of them already? What do you think already you've been able to devise either from the syllabus or something that occurred in class that you're like, okay, that didn't go well?
Electronics.
Electronics. Mm-hmm. And can you express what happened?
Most of the time, the teacher always, like, for all of my classes actually, they have it. They're like, okay, I want any laptops out. And then, like, or if I see you out with a laptop and I look at your screen and it's not related to the subject, then, like, you get an F for the day or something like that. The whole class gets, like, a probation for taking out.
So because of one student not following the directions, the whole class is punished. So one student went ahead and had the laptop up, the whole class. Is that fair? No, I don't think it's fair either. Why do you think that they have said no laptops, possibly? Or why do you think that professor had to say no laptops? Or if I see your screen and you're watching The Matrix for the 20th time, you're going to get in trouble. Why do you think they're saying this?
Well, it probably had a lot of issues during lectures where people not taking notes and distracting other students because of what's going on their screen.
That's really the psychology of this, of why this is happening. There was a UCF night last year that went ahead and caused this issue. I call it sometimes faculty flashbacks from the last semester. Last semester that happened, that faculty member discovered somebody had a laptop up and the people behind them seemed to be enjoying it as well, and just kind of sat there and went, that's not going to happen next semester. I'm going to let it go now. Next semester, not so much. Not going to happen again. So then we get our defenses up, and that's where the long syllabi come from. Have you all really analyzed your syllabus and read a lot of the don'ts? Are you reading don'ts? Don't do this, don't do that, by penalty of death if you do the following, your consequence is. Okay, have you read a lot of that? All right, now faculty is saying, I have to put this in the syllabus because I've had one student tick me off in the past. And now you all are lumped into that same category. That is not fair. But that is where it is. So if your professor has said something about electronics in the syllabus or out loud, I don't want any laptops, well, what should you not do? Bring in a laptop. Is this simple? Is this not simple, folks? But how many people in your classes have you already seen in violation of this? How many cell phones have already gone off in your classes? Has any of your professors turned around and said, great, that's fantastic. I was hoping a cell phone was going to go off today.
My drama teacher likes to pick up people's phones.
They'll pick up the person's phone and answer it. I've heard that happen a lot too. So why even put yourself out there in that jeopardy, right? So if your cell phone doesn't go off, trust me, you are noticed just as well. Because I think it's more of the other. How many people have you already seen texting in your class, right? You all are smiling, right? Okay, already texting. What truly, let's get at the heart of the matter here of it. What is it truly a sign of, do you think? I'm sorry? Boredom. Couldn't it be that? That's honest. All right, that's honest. It could be boredom. Why else do we do these other things? Why are we pushing the limits in this area? I'm sorry?
Oh, I said lack of discipline.
Lack of discipline. Nice. What else? What else do you...
You can get away with it?
You're thinking you can get away with it. It's not going to happen to me. Oh, and if it does, it's me. That's fine. It just can't happen to him or her. Okay? Is it not truly just a sign of maybe, just maybe, deep down, subconsciously in all of this, deep down, it's just I don't care enough about my education. That's truly can be sometimes the bigger part of it. Now, not a lot of students are going to admit that. Okay, I certainly would not have of sitting in your seat 20 years ago admitted that either. Now, I didn't have cell phones and I didn't have a laptop, so I got off a little easy there. We couldn't text 20 years ago. Oh, but we would still pass notes to each other. All right, that's cheating still happened 20 years ago. Okay, coming to class late still happened 20 years ago. It's those kind of things. And this is the thing. If that is what they're looking for, why do students continue to do it? All right? And sometimes maybe it is, I'm above this a little bit. But if we want to bring faculty and students together, we want to bring them together, we've got to have that give and take relationship. Now let's flip it, because please hear me on this. I am not here to stand up here and beat up students. All right, I am a student advocate. I want you to know these things, so again, you shine in the classroom. All right, but knowing where faculty come from, it's a better understanding of how you can go ahead and get about this. But let's reverse it for a second. How many times have we had some etiquette issues by your faculty? Go ahead, you can say. What have you kind of seen if that give and take relationship there? Yes, ma'am. Their cell phone goes off. Okay, and what do they do when their cell phone goes off? Do they answer it? Yeah. Do they answer? Has anybody left the room yet? I've heard that has happened. And then you're sitting there going, are you kidding me? You just nailed dude down the hall, down my row here a second ago for their cell phone going off, and there you are. So what is that? A mixed signal. Is it not? Does it not sometimes could lead to a little bit of an elitist? All right, so that's where we've got to bring that together. What are some other things you've seen by faculty, maybe etiquette-wise? Yes?
My teacher sometimes will show a movie, and once the movie started, they'll leave.
Really?
Yes.
They would show a movie in class and then leave.
They leave, and then we're expected to stay.
And then you guys are expected to stay. Okay, you're expected to stay. How many of you did stay?
Well, there's a TA, so she tries to force it really half the class.
But has the class left? Because does the TA really have any power in that? Are they looked upon as the authority figure? Are they looked upon the person that's given the final grade? Oh no, anybody can bully a TA, okay? And that's not a slight against a TA, I was them at one time too, but yeah, it happens, you know. You see 50 students coming at you, you just kind of go, okay, go right ahead. You know, we're not about to go ahead and stop them at the door, okay? But that give and take has got to be there. Now, if you're noticing it's not happening, okay, with these kind of examples that we have seen, what I want to empower you to do is be the bigger person, all right? I want you to be the bigger person. I want you to throw your shoulders back when you sit in that class and say, my stuff is tight. I'm going to be the one that demonstrates at all times these important things about etiquette. So nobody's got nothing on me. They could act a fool, those sitting next to you, the person at the front of the room possibly could not be upholding that, but you're going to do it, okay? And it is noticed when you do it well, all right? What are some other things? We got electronics we talked about there, the whole laptops and texting and cell phones. What are some other things that happen in class? What are other things? Yes, ma'am.
Just like talking during your lecture.
That'll drive somebody crazy. What have been faculty's reaction to that? Do they call people out? They do? Can you kind of describe what happened in that scenario?
Well, like, they'll just stop during the middle of the lecture and then they'll just be like, excuse me, sir, can you please stop talking or you can leave?
Okay, so the professor stopped what they were doing and said, could you please stop talking? If you can't do that, you can leave.
Yes.
That kind of conversation has to happen at the college level? What's up with the sidebar talking? You know? And I think, again, part of that comes down to not caring enough about your education in the realm of purely understanding the person at the front of the room is your, do you remember?
Your audience.
Is your audience, okay? The person at the front of the room is your audience. You guys have come in here together, seem to be friends and stuff, but do you have, no, but do you have impact on each other's grade? No, none whatsoever. The person right up at the front of the room is the person who has the impact on your grade. You are always working towards the person at the front of the room. And your personal space and how you occupy it goes into that. It does go into that. If you don't think faculty does not take the time to think about when we're at the end of the term, we're at home, we're on our My UCF, about ready to plug in some grades, and we have a plus or minus faculty, that we're not sitting there going, let's think about this. C plus, B minus, C plus, B minus. Now wait a minute, that student, I remember they came into my office a couple of times. She always sat over here, all right? Always sat over there, always came in. She wasn't one of those test people that just came in for the tests. She was always there, always on time, never had an incident with her. She was always just sitting over there, taking notes, B minus. All the time that happens. Those are those intangible things that are there. Or letter of recommendation is needed. Okay, you email your professor after having him for a semester and you say, dear Dr. Jones, I am interested in becoming a tutor for SARC. They need a letter of recommendation. I'm wondering if you would feel comfortable in doing as such. I was in your class last semester. I sat in one of the first 3 rows over to the right. I did receive an A in your class. These are some of the strengths that I could bring to that position. They're going to have a lot of great information there that you gave them, plus what you did in that semester. So these things are there. It's not all about just that A. It's these other things that you demonstrate. Okay? But this sidebar talking, it's just rude. Isn't it just flat out rude? Is it any different than in a movie theater? People are kibitzing or texting and the big light comes on. Okay, that drives me crazy in the movie theater, seeing those lights on and stuff. It's just rude. It's not even a classroom etiquette issue. It's just rude. Why do we do it? We think we can get away with it. We think we're better than that. The person at the front of the room, what do they care? All right, but these are things you have to be conscious of. Anything else under the etiquette that drives them crazy, you think?
Coming in leaving early, or coming in late, leaving early.
Yep. And you know, it used to be, this is becoming even bigger now. Leaving early. I cannot understand that. Somebody help me with that. Leaving early. You come to class, but you leave early. I don't get that scenario at all. I don't get the coming in late and leaving early either. I mean, what's up with that? Just don't bother showing. Okay? But yeah, the coming in late. What happens when people come in late? Where does everybody's eyes go? To the door. Now, the faculty members at the front of the room go, whoa, 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 all eyes are supposed to always be on me. I'm the most important person in this room right now. They don't like it when eyes go to other places. And again, you lose your concentration. You lose where you are. I had a professor when I went to school, student would try to come in late. And when they would get through the door, after he opened it, and that wasn't pretty either, and would just watch. Slowly. The person take a seat, the person take out all their stuff out of their backpack, get all ready. There's dead silence in the room. I wasn't that person, but I was sweating. All right, and then don't you sometimes, if you're the good one, you make a note to yourself saying, hey, 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 never come in late. I just saw what happened. Never come in late, right? Don't you put those notes to yourself? I know you do. But then why does it still happen? The next day, somebody else tries to come in late. Did you not just see what happened? Humiliation 101. Did you not just see what happened? And you want that to come? Sometimes we can go even deeper and go, maybe that's a psychological issue for attention. Okay? Maybe they were not loved as much as children or something. Okay? But we've got to cure this. I do not understand this. I don't. What about this? Do you hear students talking about the fact that well, you know, they should be up at the front entertaining? You know, the person at the front of the room, your faculty, they should be entertaining. I pay their salary. That is such a myth. That whole thing about paying the salary, trust me, my check is not written out from the student body at UCF. Okay? So students aren't really technically paying my salary. My check does not say that. Thank you very much, UCF Knights. That's not on my check. All right, state of Florida, thank you, pays for that. So we got to get that myth out of there too. Okay? And the fact that we have to be entertaining at the front of the room is not a job requirement on any application to teach. To each his own, but then we, again, as I said before, with your shoulders back, you got to rise to that occasion. And in that person at the front of the room is a little tough, a little rough. I've been there. I have a list of faculty too. When I was in school, I would never take again. And it wasn't because of content. It was because, but you have to rise above that. You truly do. In this relationship, you do. Anything else you can think of etiquette-wise that they might be a little bit upset about? All right, I'm going to bring up one more. Is dress. You're shaking your head now for that one? Yeah. It's the dress. Is what students are wearing on campus and bringing into the classroom now. Now, I know it's not right now, warm in Florida. I know it can be, but it's not that hot. It's never that hot. Now, how many people have we have here that are, we're here in the fall? How many of you were here in the fall? Okay? You all know what it was like. Okay, it gets hot and all that. But there are some people out there that need to be watched what they are wearing. And it is noticed again. Remember, me, whoever at the front of the room has to look out for 70, 75, 120, 3 hours and be looking amongst. You all are just looking at one. Okay? We're looking at 100 or 50 or even 20. But we see it all at the front. And we've got some issues with dress. Now, let me take this one by one. Should I go ahead and talk about the males or the females first? Which would you like to hear? The females first? Okay, we'll talk about my gender. Okay, it's all right. It's all right. We're going to talk about my gender right now. All right? Ladies, we need to be a little careful about the length of some of our outfits. Would you not agree? You've seen some on campus. Okay? We need to be careful for that. There is something, and it's called physics, that will happen if you sit with clothing that is a certain length. If you sit, clothing rises. If you sit, clothing can move. And again, at the front of the room, looking out. Now, personally to me, it does nothing for me. A lot of faculty it does nothing for. Trust me on that. But we have to see it for 15 minutes? Oh, I don't think so. All right? So let's watch ourselves there. There was a student just the other day, a young lady walking across campus, her shorts right up in here, right up, and I'm like, all I could think about, you're going to class. All right, if she is sitting in one of those the classrooms that don't have this, okay. All right, you can just imagine. So we need to watch that. All right, we really do. You don't deserve to be remembered for what you wear. You deserve to be remembered for your grades, for those assignments that you're turning in, for that test that you take. That's what you deserve to be noticed for. So ladies, we got to watch ourselves with this. And do we not all, when we're going to the mall, look at one another for what we are wearing? Oh, yes, we do. Do we not assess and make some assumptions of things based on what we wear? Oh, yes, we do. Do we not make assumptions about maybe the type of clothing we wear and who it is by? Yeah, we do. We're that type of a society, unfortunately. But again, should we add to that? Why should we add to that stereotype? Okay, that's not nice. It's not called for. All right. Now I'm not talking. This is college. This is jeans, sweatshirt, t-shirt. That's what college is supposed to be. This is not, all of a sudden let's institute prom dresses and tuxedos here. That's not what I'm talking about. But we've got to watch what we dress. All right, watch how we dress, excuse me. All right, it is something. You don't think that I knew I was speaking today, that I did not think, and I actually changed my clothes 3 times this morning going, no, that's right, I'm in front of students and I'm going to be standing. Don't wear the skinny heels, wear the heels with that's got a little, got some, leverage to them here. Okay, I think about this daily because it is something that you have to consider. All right, and I know certainly at the front of the room you would like for us to dress appropriately, I would imagine. Sometimes we miss on what matches, I get that. There's been a couple classrooms I've gone into with other faculty going, did you have a mirror? Okay, that's okay, I get that. All right, you wish that we could possibly do that as well. But have you ever thought about the way your faculty dress? Maybe that first day, if they came in with jeans, how many of your faculty wear jeans? Yeah. I don't know if it means anything or not. That's up to each individual to decide how that really is perceived or not. Okay? But that is something there. Let's watch what we're wearing, ladies. Now, I said ladies, let's get to the gentlemen now. How about that? Let's get to the gentlemen there, because there are a couple of things with the young men on this campus too. All right? And the first one is we got to watch our t-shirts. All right? Men on campus tend to wear some t-shirts that have some innuendos that are established with them. I've had some students in my class, young men in my class, that have had some suggestive sayings, and now is that something I get to look at? I passed a young man in the breezeway. Drink till you like me. I still don't understand what that phrase means. But if I had to look at that for 75 minutes, I'd be making some assumptions. I have to drink till I like you. Thanks. Okay, there we go. All right. I'm all about people with free speech here. Don't get me wrong on that. But there's sometimes with t-shirts, you got to be careful with that too. I'm not about censoring creativity. Hear me on that. All right. But this is a give and take relationship. And if we want to bridge that gap, we got to come to a mutual understanding. Sometimes students will wear some t-shirts. Now, I do enjoy, from back in the day, some heavy metal. Okay, but there could be some t-shirts with some sayings on them or some symbols on them that some professors or instructors could go, what is that real? Is that what I think it is? What's up with the skull and crossbones here? All right, what's all this about? Okay, again, you don't deserve to be remembered for that, but we have to be careful. Okay, also, gentlemen, you need to watch your ball hats. Okay, not even ask, read the syllabus. If they say no ball hats, guess what? No ball hats, take it off. I personally don't mind, but I had a student in my class who had a ball hat on. He turned it around, it was backwards. He turned it around and right on the front it said, "You suck." So I get to look at that for 50 minutes. All right, again, I'm up here trying to educate the youth of America in the best way I know possible, and there's my reinforcement coming right at me. All right, I had to ask him to remove it. But that's what I remember about that young man in that class. I can't tell you what grade he made. All I can remember, and he used to, if I'm facing my classroom, he would sit over here about 4th row deep. Over here, always had a ball hat on and always had like a hoodie. That's what I remember. I can't tell you anything else about him except that. Too bad. That's his reputation that I have. He asks me for a letter of recommendation, I'll say, interesting wardrobe, sincerely. It's about all I got for him. Okay? So guys, again, let's just watch that. Let's watch the person that your audience member is too. But hear me on this again, I hope you do. I'm not about saying that we have to be, censoring or lack creativity. I don't like that, all right? I'm all about the latest and greatest that's going on out there and want to be a part of it. But we have to consider that give and take relationship. Okay? I don't think you would want any faculty members to come up into your classroom with a big t-shirt that says students are stupid. And you all get to look at that for 50 minutes, and they're just standing up there. Oh, let me go a step further. UCF students are stupid. Yeah, I mean, you see where I'm going? That's not good positive reinforcement at all, okay? So let's watch this. Let's watch this. We don't deserve to be remembered for any other thing except the good work that we're turning in. That's where you leave your legacy. None of these things. None of these things. This is where you leave your legacy. All right, is having that nice decorum and etiquette. And let me tell you folks, this goes on beyond college. It goes to your interviews. It goes to when you get your first job. If you don't think the first person, and I can remember when I was first hired here at UCF, I spent more times on making sure that my bag matched my shoes and that my outfit looked really good because I'm going in there with a new group of people. They're not coming up and asking me, so what are your qualifications? Okay, where did you get your degree? No, they're all checking me out going, do you believe? I think she probably got that at Goodwill. What do you think? Do you think the new girl got it at where do you think the new girl got it? Or look at her, oh, excuse me, she's got some Tiffany jewelry on. Look at the new girl, she's got Tiffany jewelry, and what kind of money is she? It goes on in the real world too, doesn't it? Hasn't it also been documented as well? We make a lot of our decisions based on the way people look, the way people act. Don't you think a lot of that went into this last presidential election? Yeah, okay. Who looks the best in the suit, male or female, from the last election? Okay, that's always talked about. Everybody talks about Hillary Clinton and how many pantsuits she must own. Could anybody quote, though, what her position is on foreign policy? Possibly not, but by golly, we know how many pantsuits she had. All right, oh, I don't think they, hello, aren't the awards on right now? I'm a big fan of watching all the red carpet awards, and then you get best dressed and worst dressed. What's up with this? Okay, those are the things. Shouldn't they be acknowledged for their ability to be good actors? Yeah.
There was a piece too they wrote about Michelle Obama because she wore shorts to go hiking. And
yes.
They were too short.
Yes, our first lady is getting with the whole shoulder thing.
Like, oh, she shouldn't be looking like.
The first lady to ever expose her shoulders. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But this is the society we're living in. All right, so when you get out there in the real world, again, is this something that should occupy your time normally? No, but one of the things is that I have been able to do proudly enough, okay, is there are times where students could see me in jeans and I still get, Miss Wright, how are you doing? I don't get, Jen, because I have jeans on, and that respect goes down, but you've got to earn that reputation before you can go up and change some things. Does that make sense? Can you see where that comes into play? It's sad a little bit, isn't it? But again, I want this to become here. If you're aware of these things, I want you to be the bigger person. Again, shoulders back, you're in control of this. Nobody else is controlling it for you. Okay? Other comments or questions about this? Thoughts at all? Okay, I want you to start to become now better observers on campus. I want you to become better observers in the classroom. I want you to watch some of this dynamic that goes on and kind of just have a little fun, analyzing it in your own head. and thinking about how did that impact? All right, how did that behavior impact the person at the front of the room? How did it impact me in my room? Okay, because this is just as much your place as anybody else. I want to thank you for coming to the workshop today, and I would like everybody to please check out the SARC website, where we will continue this series on academic success throughout the spring semester. Thank you.